In this tutorial, I would like to talk about one of the most basic operations in 3-axis machining, which is roughing passes. In this example, I want to rough out this phone mold. To begin, I move up to NC, down to 3-axis, and the first 5 examples here are our roughing operations. In this case, we're going to go with Z-rough. Down at the bottom, SURFCAM asks us for the surfaces to rough. I'm going to click on Visible. Then SURFCAM asks us to select the material information. This is where we create the boundaries of the part to be rough. As you can see, we have extents box, bottom profile, top profile, surfaces, and no material available to us. In this example, I'm going to use extents box. Once I click on OK, we see lower left corner, upper right corner, and additional offset amounts. The additional offset amounts are important. Here, an XY offset amount of 0.5 would give us an additional roughing area of 0.5 around the edge of the part, which would go beyond the edge of the material boundary. If I change the XY offset to 0, we will rough the part to the edge of the boundary. If I make it a negative number, we will rough inside the material boundary. In this example, I'm going to leave it at 0. For a Z offset, I'm going to put 0.05, and this will add another 50 thousandths above the part and 50 thousandths below. When I click Calculate Bounding Box, it looks at the surface model and adds the offsets that we have given it. There's no need for us to go below 0 on this part, so I'm just going to change that minus 0.05 to a 0 and then click OK. Now we see the tool information. I'm going to change the tool from a 1/2-inch 4-flute flat end mill to a bullnose end mill with a 1/2-inch diameter and a 0.062 radius. I click OK. Then I'll change the tool number to 1 and move on to Cut Control. On the Cut Control tab, the first thing we're going to see is cutting method. Our choices are climb or conventional. We'll talk a little bit more about this later, but for now I'm going to leave it at climb. Our stock to leave amount is the minimum amount of material left after the roughing operation. There will be more material left, but this is the smallest amount we can expect to have on the roughed out surface. Right below that is rapid plane. It's a 1/2 inch above the highest point on the part. Our maximum Z value and minimum Z value tell us what our range is for roughing. This is based upon the surface model. If I want to adjust this value, I can put in a new number in either one of these fields, or I can click on the icon to the right, click endpoint in this case, click on an endpoint of one of the lines, and you can see our minimum Z value has been adjusted to 1.5 inches. This means that the Z roughing operation will only occur between the maximum and minimum Z value. Right below that, our surface tolerance of 10 thousandths may seem a little high, but if you look at our stock to leave amount, we're leaving 30 thousandths stock minimum, so the 10 thousandths is within range for that value. Our Z step size below that is critical. The Z step size controls to a large extent how much material is left on the part before you do your finishing pass. With a step size of 0.2, we're going to have a 0.2 step height from the top of the roughing operation down to the bottom. If I make it 0.5, it's going to be very rough. If I make it 0.1, it will be smoother. In this example, I'm going to leave it at 0.2 for the moment, and we'll see what that looks like in verification. Our XY step size is our side step, and I'm going to leave it at 0.2. There's nothing else need to be done right now, so I'm just going to click OK, and we'll create the tool path. I'll accept it, and we'll take a look at it in verification. Here in verification, we'll see the results of the cut control information we just entered. I'm going to click on the play button, and we can watch the simulation. In all cases, the tool will plunge off the outside of the part, plunging down in air, before feeding into the part to remove material. You can also see the effect of the 0.2 step size as we go down in Z. When we're finished and rotate the part around, you can see a fairly clear view of what the part looks like after the roughing operation. We'll make some adjustments and try this again.